Hi friends, good morning and welcome to this new class. So long we were studying about civics, our political life, our parliaments, how they make law, what are duties and rights granted in the Indian Constitution, all those things we studied. Now let us come to another topic. Let us take geography. So you can take your textbook of geography and we will begin with our lesson number 1, which is dealing with resources. A very important thing in our life, resources. And we will study what is the meaning of resource, what are resources, or how they are beneficial, or what kind of resources are there, how many types of resources are there. All these things we shall see in this lesson. And first, to start with, let us have a story. Let us listen to a story. So it is a story about two children. They are Mona and Raju, just like you or even younger than you, two kids. And they are helping their mother to clean their house. So children, they are very smart, very energetic, and they don't want to remain simple, idle. So they are helping their mother to clean up their house. And so mother is telling them, instructing them, given that opportunity to be with the children while helping, while cleaning, mother is trying to teach them something, explain something, what they are dealing with in their daily life. So mother is telling, look at these things. Clothes are there, utensils, the vessels are there, then food grains are there, like rice and so on. Then combs are there for combing your hair. Then this bottle of honey, so there is a bottle of honey. Then some books are there, and each of these has a use. So mother is telling, each of these has a use. Nothing is useless. Everything has got a use. And then mother says, that is why they are important. So these things are useful and therefore they are very important. And these are resources. And mother said, these are resources. So they are useful for us, therefore we call them resources. Then the boy is asking, what is a resource? So mother said, these are resources, and Raju is asking, what is a resource? Then anything that can be used to satisfy a need is a resource, replied Amma. Amma means mother. So mother told Raju, anything that can be used to satisfy a need is a resource. You can underline in your book. What is a resource? Anything that can satisfy a need is a resource. So a book can satisfy your needs, money can satisfy your needs, comb can satisfy your need of combing hair, or food can satisfy your need, dress can satisfy your need. So anything that it can satisfy, doesn't mean it's a big thing or small thing. If it can satisfy your need, then it is a resource. Look around you and observe. You will be able to identify many types of resources. So mother told him, you look around, and if you will find many resources are there, which we may not be aware about, which may not be thinking about as an important thing, but it is a resource. Then the water you drink when you are thirsty, the electricity used in your house, the rickshaw that you used to get from home to school, the textbook that you use to study, they are all resources. So everything that we use, whether it is a small thing or big thing, If we are finding it useful, then it becomes a resource. Then your father has prepared tasty snack for you. The fresh vegetables he has used are also a resource. The mother says, your father has made a very special item for you, some snacks. And so he is using some fresh vegetable for cooking that. So that vegetable is also a resource. So that is the explanation mother gave to the small children about the things that they use, the things that has got some value which can satisfy their need and so on. So let us see more. Water, electricity, a rickshaw, vegetables and textbook have something in common. They have all been used by you, so they have the utility. And the utility or usability is what makes an object or substance a resource. So all the things that we use in our life, maybe textbook, maybe pen, pencils, erasers, or maybe the electricity that you use, vegetable that you use, everything has got something in common. That means some common element is there in them. What is that common element? It is a utility. All of them are utility. How about utility? That means they are able to satisfy. We are able to use them. None of them are a waste. We are able to use them. So we can make the definition of a resource again. Utility or usability is what makes an object or substance a resource. We can underline again. What makes a substance a resource? It is the utility or usability is what makes a resource, make a object or substance a resource. So say again, what makes an object or substance a resource? It is a utility or usability that makes a substance or a object a resource. Then how does something become a resource? Raju now wanted to know. So how can something become a resource? How can an object become a resource? That is the next question Raju is asking to his mother. And Amma told the children that things become resource only when they have a value. So if they do not have a value, then they are not a resource. So anything can become a resource when it has got a value. Then its use or utility gives it a value. All resources have some value, said Amma. So sometimes it may not be useful for you, but it may be useful for another person. So what is useful for you, it will become a resource for you. And if it is not useful for you, but it is useful for others, then it will become a resource for that person. So whatever has got usefulness, then it becomes a resource. May not be for me a resource, but it may be a resource for others. So we cannot just say this is useless. For you it may be useless, but for others it may be useful. Therefore, we should not just reject anything. We need to find some kind of usefulness. If not for us, we must give it to others. They may be able to use it. You may be thinking about the plastic items we throw on the road or in the nala and so on. Even that plastic can be recycled. There are people who are collecting that plastic bottles and go and sell it in the factory and get some money. So it becomes useful for that person. It becomes useful for the factory. So do not think that what we are just throwing, thinking that it is not useful, it is not a resource, but it has got some value for somebody and it becomes a resource for that person. Then we come across a word called value. So value means worth. Some resources have economic value some do not. Some resources have economic value and some do not. That means if you give something, you may get money. For example, you have vegetable produce in your garden. If you go and sell it in the market, you will get money. So that is having economic value. But there are so many other useful things are there which has got no economic value. That is, you cannot sell it. For example, in your area, there is very fresh air. Lot of fresh air is there. Can you go and sell the air? It has no economic value, but it is useful for you. Therefore, it is a resource. Or your area is very beautiful. The mountain, nice scenery is there. So, can you go and sell the scenery to others? No. There is no economic value for that. But it is a resource because it is useful to you. You are enjoying that beauty, or other people may come there to enjoy that beauty. So it becomes useful for others. Therefore, that beautiful scenery is also a resource. So, some have got money value, some do not have money value. So, both can be resource. Having money value and not having money value, both can be resources. Then, some resources can become economically valuable with time. So some resources, it may not be useful for us or it may not be economically valuable now at present. But in the future it may become economically valuable. Now if you sell this one, may not get any money. But in the future if you sell, it may get some money. And your grandmother's home remedies have no commercial value. For example, let's say, some of the grandmothers and grandfathers, they are very expert in treating certain kind of sicknesses. They have certain local medicines, some jungle medicines and so on. And if you apply that one, the people get alright. If there is some wound in your body, you get healed and so on. So, if she is going and selling it in the market, nobody may buy that one. So, there is no economic value for that. But it is a resource because it is useful for you and you are able to get cure. But if some company come to know about the quality of this medicine that grandmother is making, then that company will say, teach us how to make this medicine and we will buy, we will pay you money. So then, before it was not economically viable, nobody was willing to give money to grandmother. But if company comes to know about that quality of that medicine, they can buy that medicine and then they can give money to her. So what is not valuable now or what is not economically valuable now can become valuable after some time. Then, so if they are patented means you will find the glossary there in the right side. Word meaning is given there. Patented means the exclusive right over any idea or invention. So the idea of making medicine is of the grandmother, and this company come and give her money and buy her rights. Then only the company will be allowed to make that medicine and sell it. So that is called exclusive right, complete right over that. Others cannot imitate their medicine, otherwise they will be punished and so on. Then, time and technology are two important factors that can change substances into resources. So, you can underline that. Which are the two important factors that can change substances into resources? So there are so many substances. Substances means things. So many things are there in the earth, and all these are not useful at present. But it can become a resource later. And for that, two factors are needed. One is time, another one is technology. So time and technology can change a substance into resource in the future. Let's see how. Both are related. Time and technology are related to the needs of the people. People themselves are the most important resource. So you can underline. People themselves are the most important. So long we are talking about only things, substances and so as a resource. But people themselves are resource. For you are a resource because you are useful to your parents, you are useful to your companions, your neighbors. So you become useful to others and therefore you are a resource. Your mother or your father is a resource because they are useful to you, useful to others. So any person also who is useful to others, they also become a resource. So a resource means just don't think that only it is things, but the people also can become the most important resource. And in order to make use of other resources, whom do we need? We need people. For example, water is there. Water is a resource. So from water we can produce electricity. We have to make dam and produce electricity. So who is producing electricity? If the water is just going on flowing down, will there be electricity? No. So it is the human beings, it is the people who are thinking about it, finding out the technology, how to make electricity from the water and how to supply that electricity to different parts of the world and so on. So it is human beings who are making use of these other elements, other resources. If human beings are not there means most of the resources will not be made use. It will continue to remain. Water means it will just continue to flow. There are a lot of minerals are there under the earth. They will continue to remain there. So it is human beings who have taken initiative to take it out and to make use of these elements which are resources. So we need time. And it is their ideas, their knowledge and their invention and discoveries that lead to the creation of more resources. You can underline. What are the things that are leading to the discovery of new resources? It is there. There means people. It is a people's idea, people's knowledge, people's invention. Invention means finding out. What was hidden, they are finding out. Then discovery, searching and finding out. So it is because of people's ideas, knowledge, technology, invention, all that we are able to find out new resources. Then each discovery or invention leads to many others. So when we make one discovery, it will help us to find out something more. So more and more we find out. That is how development taking place. Otherwise the world would have remained in the same place. So the world is increasing fast, developing fast, moving forward fast. This is because of human beings' ideas, technology, development, the discoveries, all that is helping. So human being is ultimately behind all this development. If human beings were not there, animals would not have done anything. They would not have found out any new discoveries. They would be just eating their food and sleeping. Every day will be doing the same thing. But human beings are able to think beyond that. Because of our intellectual capacity, we are able to think more, we are able to practice more, find out more and so on. Then the discovery of fire led to the practice of cooking and other process. So, all in times people, before having the knowledge, before having the idea of fire, people were not cooking their food. They were just eating raw food, maybe meat, fish or other vegetables. Everything they were eating raw because there was no idea about fire, how to cook food in the fire. They had no idea. So they found out the fire is available, and if you cook food over the fire, it becomes more tasty. So then they began to cook food and eat. Or the invention of wheel ultimately resulted in the development of the new modes of transport. So all the times there was no wheel, no tire. So somebody found out the wheel, the use of wheel, and then somebody found out if you connect this wheel to the vehicle, then vehicle can travel faster. So slowly now we have reached the modern transport which can travel 100, 200 kilometer speeds, like train, flying, running so fast. It is because of the wheel. So it is one invention helping us to find out something more, and we go more and more. We develop more and more. Then the technology to create hydroelectricity has turned energy in fast flowing water. So because of the technology that we are able to develop electricity from the water, from the flowing water. So that is all people's idea. So because of finding out electricity from the water, we are able to have so many other things. So many machines are there, engines are there, we can function. Even now trains are running with electricity. There are vehicles are there running with battery. So all these are because of the development of electricity, because of the invention of the electricity. So many things can be done in the world. All these things were not there earlier. For the water that was running in the river was not a resource for the people. They did not find out how to use it. But now we have found out from that river water we can get electricity, or we can run boat, we can use it for transport and so on. So it has become very useful for us, therefore it has become a resource also. So that is a final sentence for us today, and we will wind up today, and next time we will study about types of resources. What are the types of resources that we have and so on. Then we will see a small homework for you. So you can see here in your textbook an activity is given there. So what is this activity? So there is a list of so many things given there, like cotton, cloth, iron ore, intelligence, medical plants, medical knowledge, coal deposits, beautiful scenery, agriculture land, clean environment, old folk songs, good weather, resourcefulness, a good singing voice, grandmother's home remedies, affection from friends and family, and so on. So all these are resources, and in this you have to find out which are the resources having common values. Some are not having the commercial value. Commercial value means we can sell and make money. So some of them we can sell it and make money, some of them we cannot. So in your textbook itself you identify, you circle which are the ones having commercial value. So which item can be sold in the market and make money. So you identify it, and so after circling, take photo of the your homework and send it to me in the WhatsApp. Okay. So thank you for listening. Have a nice day.